and welcome to Concert Pipeline. I'm Steve Jones. Today on the program, we have a special episode that's just coming out. Surprise, really, because I didn't expect this to happen. I was expecting to have a week off. I'm coming back from vacation currently with my kids from our Florida trip. I'm sure I got lots of sun and burnt to a crisp on it, but I wanted to squeeze another episode in before I left. I went to see the Cab at August Hall in San Francisco. I had them on the program several weeks ago and went out to their show. Didn't know what to expect with the openers and saw this band Jady, Jady, that just blew me away. And I was like, okay, got to chat with those guys. Let's see if I can get them on the program before I leave for Florida. And they messaged me back pretty much right away. I got in touch with their publicists and made it happen kind of the same, the next day after their show. And they were super cool. It was really awesome. So we're going to have a chat with Jady. We're also going to bring some content from the Cab's concert with Jady. So we'll bring some concert footage from those sets and special bonus at the end of the program. We're going to do a little review of All American Rejects pop-up show in Sacramento at Concerts in the Park. So lots of music on this episode. Also an interview. Tons of great content. So awesome. So let's go ahead and start with the concert at August Hall. Like I said, Jady, Jady, just in case you're looking them up. Opened up the show is two dudes, and they were completely gracious. They were awesome. I really enjoyed chatting with them and their performance. The band is made up of Jarrett, Doherty, and Ashton, Bergdorf, and they were incredible. Jarrett owned the crowd from a lead singer perspective. Ashton was just awesome on drums. He backed up Jarrett really greatly. And I listened to him a little bit on the way to the show, and I was like, okay, I'm kind of into this. But really, it all came together in their live performance, which you'll have to check out. So hopefully they'll come back to the Bay sometime and get to see him again. But in the meantime, I was like, okay, I'm going to dive into their music real quick, and I'm going to talk to them before I get out of town on vacation. So let's go ahead and let's start it off with a song from Jady's set. This is a song called Tell Me Something That I Don't Know. Here it is, and then we'll get into the interview.
Something that I don't know. And when I count down from 3, you're going to scream that at the top of your lungs, all right? Listen very closely. I'll go first. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Tell me something that I don't know. Your turn, San Fran. 1, 2, 3, tell me something that I don't know. You can do much louder than that. 1, 2, 3, tell me something that I don't know. 1, 2, 3, tell me something that I don't know. Louder, 1, 2, 3, tell me something that I don't know. Louder, 1, 2, 3, tell me something that I don't know. Okay. San Francisco, do not let me down on this course. 1, 2, 3, tell me something that I don't know. 1, 2, 3, tell me something that I don't know. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Dripping down in the floor, you're trying to hit me with things I heard of before. You say it's nothing. You seen it happen before. Don't say we're homies. I know what you're calling me for. Okay, let's get upset. Let me book a table for 3. It's gonna be you, me, and my trouble. Everything is on me. Now you can tell me what you change about me over your drinks. Tell me what's the other name. Why they filling the seats? Gotta put the bad feeling like there's nowhere to run. From everybody to their mama always. San Francisco, here it comes again. So let me down. Sing 1, 2, 3. Tell me something that I don't know. 1, 2, 3. Tell me something that I don't know. 1, 2, 3. Tell me something that I don't know. 1 more time. Tell me something that I don't know.
sharing some earbuds right here.
It's,
Uh,
know,
there, can you hear me?
I can. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Now we're cooking with fire. I love the shared earbuds.
Yes.
Look, you're not cramped enough in a van on the road together for endlessly. When sharing earbuds, that's how you need to get that just to that little bit closer, right? So,
Just a little bit. After 2 months on the road, you can't get any closer. Yeah.
have you been on the road for 2 months straight already, or
Uh,
is the tour
Probably
just starting for you?
it might, yeah, that maybe a month and a half, probably. That sounds more close to what we actually had a tour run supporting another artist before this in smaller bars and everything, which went on for about a month. And then, yeah, we've been on the road with a cab for the past few weeks, and it's been great. We, unfortunately, tomorrow's our last show in Seattle before we head to Europe to do another support run. So,
I mean, that's yes, that's unfortunate, but it's also pretty cool, getting to go to Europe and play shows over there, right?
right. Oh yeah. I am beyond excited. It's gonna be such a blast. Once we get over there, the flights are the worst when it's just so much time sitting in a crammed, oh man.
Yeah. Do you borrow equipment overseas when you do those shows, or do you have to lug equipment with you too?
We have to bring a little bit, but mostly renting over there. Like we rent a drum kit. That would suck to try and bring a drum kit on the plane. So
Yeah.
but yeah, what's nice is we rent that over there and bring a little bit over in the plane. But yeah, so we're excited. It's going to be our second time in Europe, and yeah, these are going to be some awesome shows. But we're gonna really miss the cab because of how just awesome they've been on this past tour. They've just been incredible guys to get to know.
Oh, I mean, it's quite the pairing. Your band and the Cab. I mean, like that show last night, like lit the roof on fire. It was
Wow.
incredible, and like for an opening act to bring that much energy was just like you don't expect it really to be honest, right? Like you're like, okay, we're gonna warm up, we're gonna ease into this show, and you're like, no, the hell we are. They're coming full
Right.
force. Yeah.
Yes, exactly, dude. I'm glad that you enjoyed the show. These crowds have been so receptive to our band. We were walking into this tour wondering, like, what are they going to think when we walk on stage and demand the entire room to throw their hands up in the first 15 seconds of our set? And sure enough, they have loved it. So it's been an overwhelming response, and we're reluctantly playing the last show tomorrow. We wish we could just play forever with these crowds and these guys, and it's just been incredible.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. So tell me a little bit about like what music was on in your house, both for both of you as kids. What were your parents listening to? How did you get your start in being interested in music?
For sure. Yeah, we both grew up in different places, and then somehow later in our lives, our paths crossed in Ohio. But yeah, I've grown up in Columbus, Ohio for all my life, and it's funny, not the most musical household. The most that music that we have did when I was growing up, my older brother was in a band growing up, and I thought that was the coolest thing ever because I was the youngest child. So I was like looking up to this guy and like, oh my goodness. And it was like a small high school band that played one show and disbanded, and like nothing crazy,
One
but
and done, drop the mic, and
right, exactly. So I was like, oh, that's the coolest thing. And was never really incredible at, athletics. So I just used music as an outlet and discovered, wait a second, I really enjoy making the music. And ever since I was 10 years old, just started writing as much as I could, and ended up buying a program when I was around 13, and just learned how to produce, mix, and master music. And ever since then, I've been producing, mixing, and mastering, and writing all the Jady stuff. And then luckily, when I got into touring, that was around 17 years old. Growing up in Columbus, everybody seems to know somebody from the 21 Pilots crew. So I happen to know the younger brother of the lead singer, Tyler Joseph. His name is Jay, and
Okay.
Jay
Yeah.
had his
Jay
own
Joseph.
band.
Yes.
Yeah, Jay
Yeah.
Joseph.
That's where you got your start. Yeah.
Yeah, so I played bass in Jay's band, and I also produced his music for his band. And luckily, to get our start into that, um, playing live, we got to tour with 21 Pilots. So we opened a whole tour with them, and that kind of inspired me to be like, you know what? I think I can do this live performing thing. I realized, okay, I can produce, mix, and master, and I love writing my music, but I'm like super nervous to be in front of people. And that tour gave me the confidence to be like, you know what? I think I can start Jady. And that's when I met Ashton, and we had just have played as many shows as we could ever since, and have absolutely loved it.
Yeah. And Ashton, when did you pick up the drums?
I think I started when I was about 2.5 years old, 3 years old. I kind of just always had it around in the house. My dad would always put on like VHS tapes of live bands of stuff that he was into. So a lot of it was Neil Young or Grateful Dead, or there was a band at the time that was kind of popping named House of Heroes. Me and my dad really liked growing up, along with Weezer, and I'd kind of always be fascinated with the drummer on the screen or the drummer at the show. Yeah, growing up, I just kind of always had drums around at the house, and I think as I started to grow up into high school, I'd go in and out of playing drums, and it'd be drums or sports. And I think it wasn't until about probably eighth grade, seventh or eighth grade, I started to take it a little bit more seriously, and really actually trying to get better and do it as something as more of a daily activity, or kind of almost working out, if you will, kind of making it part of my daily routine to get better at drums. And, just in my parents' basement as a kid growing up, I always imagined somebody else next to me playing the songs that I was playing. And, at the time, it was always just other bands that I was into. But I always imagined having somebody else next to me playing the songs. And I always thought it'd be cool if I could do music in front of all my family and friends one time. That would be the coolest thing for me. And, and now being able to kind of cross paths with Jarrett, and, you know, actually tour and, do music for a living. It's been surreal. And
Yeah.
yeah.
Was it always seen as a duo for you two? Did you ever explore adding other members to the band also?
Yeah, I think it's always been kind of a duo. I think just naturally it's always leaned that way. I mean, when I met him, he was a senior in high school when I was going into freshman year of college. And when I met him, I dropped out of college like 4 weeks later, because I was like, that's the dude that I think could do music with me. And yeah,
Jarrett, did you
I
feel guilty for making him drop out of college?
Well, here's the thing. He asked me if I wanted to do the first Jady show, and I said, you know what? I'm thinking about it. I still haven't gotten my confidence because though I had done playing bass on the Pilots tour, I had
Yeah.
still never sung in front of people. And the idea of singing in front of people was scarier in front of like 150 people. That was scarier to me than playing bass in front of 20,000 on that tour. So I don't know why I was so apprehensive, but Ashton calls me and says, hey, would you want to do this? And I was like, yeah, I'm still thinking about it. And he's like, well, I dropped out of college, so you better say yes. So I was like, now I have to,
So he put the pressure on you, not the other way around. Okay,
he
got
he
it. Okay.
really
yeah, I pressured him to also not go to college.
yes, exactly. I was
College is
this
out of the
close.
question for everybody. Okay, so
Right. Yeah, so I was this close to going to college, and I think seeing how excited he was about everything, it really just made it real. Like, you know what? Like, I think we can actually make this happen. Like the two, the both of us just wanting it so bad, being like, you know what? I'm willing to, kind of put everything on halt and just give it everything that we have. And I'm so glad that we've done that because, now we're on our way to Seattle and about to head to Europe and playing these shows. And it's just been a short 3.5 years. So it's crazy.
Yeah, for sure. And so when you started, like, what did you think JD would become, and how is it different, kind of today's reality from that vision?
You know, when I was 13, it's funny, I remember coming up with this name. The name JD comes from my first and last initial. My name is
Uh-huh.
Jarrett Doherty, so
Yeah,
JD, and then I kind of
yeah,
spell that out, Jady. Um, I've been holding on to this name since I was 13 years old. So I was like, if I ever saw, if I was to ever headline a festival, I want to see a really simple four-letter word, really easy to remember, JD. I feel like that's what I wanted. So, but like I said, I didn't have the confidence to really perform in front of people when I was growing up. So I was like, I guess I'll just settle for releasing my own music and maybe producing for other people because I just didn't know I had it in me. The idea of getting in front of people and singing my own songs was nightmarish. My parents would be like, we hear these songs that you're making. We never hear you singing because you're too afraid to sing in front of us." So it wasn't until like, I want to say 4.5 years ago where I actually started, you know what? I'm going to try singing in front of people. And that unlocked this entire passion to be like, oh my goodness, I see how this impacts people when I hit the stage and how it like faces visibly react and how I'm actually changing people and giving them something to hold on to in that moment. That was enough for me to be like, you know what? I can't just write the music. I have to be performing it. And doing it alone on stage felt boring to me. And
yeah,
having somebody else on stage, I was like, you know what? It's got to be it. And then meeting Ashton, it was just a no brainer. So ever since then, yeah, it's felt great.
yeah. And so when did you notice that people were kind of connecting with something deeper than just the music?
It's there's many moments, but one that I always go back to is we are very live show oriented. I'm sure you saw yesterday at the show, but we are
Yes.
pretty live show oriented. And one of the moments that really sticks out to me is we like to play as much as we can in our hometown. That's kind of where we started growing, just really getting as much hype around it, first being family and friends, and then started to build up somewhat of a local following. But about 2 years ago, we played a venue called Newport Music Hall, which was
Yes.
a theater that holds 1,400 people, and we were able to sell it out. And I just remember walking out to that stage, everything leading up to that moment being like, are these ticket sales right? Like, did they just are we gonna have 1,200 people just opt out the day of and just not come to the show? I was like, it's too good to be true. But I remember walking out on that stage, seeing this insurmountable sea of people that were all there for a JD headlining show, and I was like, this is just it's something's connecting, something's working, and it's completely out of our control. It was really cool.
Yeah. And so what do you think kind of spawned that overnight you kind of change, like where you were able to walk into that room, that sold out room, whereas previously you didn't have that feeling?
I like to think it's various different things. Obviously, I think we were lucky enough to have people just connect with the music and what it was saying. And I always say, chase something bigger than yourself. And I feel like that's when you can sense that there's something bigger than yourself embedded within the music, and that there's something to fight for, and there's something to rally around as a community, something to feel like it brings people together. That's when you get something that goes from just a good song to this is now a movement. And I think the combination of that and just I'm really happy with how hard that we've worked as a band. We've really believed in the organic growth of let's play a show for 3 people and see what happens. It's funny that Newport show that I just referenced, about 24 hours after we played that, we played a show in Indianapolis for 11. So
That's a swing.
yeah, so it was quite the change, but I am so happy because I feel like our band we pride ourselves on being able to treat any crowd, no matter how big or small, like it is an arena show, and give everybody the feeling that this is a larger than life show that we will lay everything that we have out on the stage, and that they won't be walking out of that thinking, oh, that was a small show, but that was one of the best shows I've ever seen. Like, yeah, that's kind of our mantra. So I think, honestly, long-winded answer to say, I think the organic growth of playing as many shows as possible, along with just the music. And I think if you have good music that connects with people and are willing to go out and actually make the effort to connect with people, I think it'll be reciprocated in an industry that is so kind of anti live show these days. So, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'll ask you, Ashton. So silver appears to represent a major kind of evolution in your sound and kind of artistic identity. So if we take all three of your albums, Haze, Napa Palm, and Silver, as three different chapters of your life, then like what does each album represent for you?
Whoa. Um, yeah, Ashton, I don't know. Yeah, I'd be curious.
Man, that's a good question. Um, I think the Haze, when we worked on the Haze together, I think that was that was the first time one I've ever worked on music with another person. And I think at the time in the process of making that album, we had really no audience. We didn't have music out as a duo. And so it kind of was just one piece of work that I hope was able to articulate everything that me and Jarrett thought was inspiring. I just as a first piece of body of work, there's no audience, there's no pressure. It's just kind of like, this is what we like, and so we're gonna make that. Um, and when we released another piece of work, Napalm, I felt like Napalm was when we started to really have a growing audience of people who cared about what we were saying and cared about, sonically where we were going, and, they cared about our shows and how the songs fit into a live show. And so I think Napalm kind of really represents, where we were at as, we're always going to be a growing artist, but at that time, trying to figure out how to keep this thing alive, Napalm was kind of the piece of work that embodied, okay, how do we keep people around with us, in an industry that's so competitive.
Yeah.
And, throughout that album, you kind of hear a lot of Jarrett's writing going back and forth between selfish motives, but then being able to end the record on, well, the people that matter the most are the loved ones around me, and the fans that continue to show up every day. And that's a song called Backbone, which, outros the album. Yeah. And then I think as we were moving into releasing more music with the next piece of work, Silver, um, I felt like I felt like Silver was like, oh, you're finally in high school, and there's like a couple cool kids at the lunch table that want to sit with you. And it
Yeah.
kind of Silver kind of felt like this. I don't know. To me, at least, Silver was like, how how cool can we come across as? And I think that was the that was the album where I think it was more risks were being taken, and it was more of this, I don't really care what you think attitude. I think it's
Yeah.
cool. And if you think it's cool, then you're with me or you're not. And for me, that was by far my favorite piece of work to do, is especially just because we did so much live tracking of drums. Um, there's a guy named Anis Latif in Columbus, Ohio, who has a drum studio who I've known for years, and he is so amazing at what he does. And I am a firm believer that there is nobody in the industry that can do it like Anis. He has just such a special touch. when it comes to drums. And so we went to him for that album, and tracked most of that album with live drums with him. And I think to me that's what made it so much fun, is being able to kind of implement his sound design and mixing drums, but also parts that I was able to record for that album.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And what gave you guys the confidence to push so far creatively with this album?
Yeah, that's a great question. Honestly, I think the I remember writing the Haze. It was like Ashton said, first body work. It was just, okay, let's just try things. What's inspiring? Napalm was like, okay, people are watching. I am going to overanalyze everything that I create to make sure that this is going to please the people that are watching. Uh, Walking into Silver, I was like, making napalm was awesome, but exhausting trying to figure out how do I how do I please this group of people? I am just going to, because I think what best serves the people that are listening is me when I am not overthinking and when I am just, how can I make what inspires me? Because I think we've cultivated a group of people that listens to this music that actually just wants that wants what inspires us. And which is really exciting, that I feel like we can put out various different styles of music. I could be screaming on one song, I could do a piano ballad on the next track. And
Yeah,
I think we have a fan base that will be able to listen to that and appreciate both of those songs for what they are and love them. So I think Silver, I walked into it with this confidence of like, you know what? I think this band has finally found its rhythm. We found what lanes we like to do. We found how we perform live on stage and how to write songs for that too. And I think ultimately it just came across as like, I'm just going to see what happens if I write a song like, I reference one of our songs, Chokehold, as being most, one of the songs that makes no sense in
yeah,
terms of traditional song structure. There's not really like a clear, there's multiple different hooks. There's not a verse two. It's a weird bridge, weird timing. And that has become one of my favorite songs because it's just all over. And that kind of breaking the rules with that has made me think, okay, I I can trust my gut. I know that they will enjoy what I do in putting this out, putting that record out and being like, oh, what are they gonna think? I think really gave me confidence once they received it with such open arms. And especially finding the rhythm with like, whoa, we're tracking drums with Unis now in Ashton. I think that has really formed how we create music moving forward.
yeah, yeah, for sure. Was there anything that either you learned about yourself through the making of this album?
Whoa. I learn a lot. I learn a lot. But that in particular, um I think just a lot. I think in terms of the thematically with Silver, like a lot of the music, but I think in particular Silver seemed to really hyperfixate on the theme of identity and what that means in context with a career that's so weird like this. Um, but finding self-worth and looking for that in multiple different places. And one of which that I think really represents the heart of Silver is a track called Landmines that talks a lot about, you know, kind of talking to somebody, whether that is, another person or my own self, um, who might feel worthless in a moment of, darkness, and really just saying like, I will run through the landmines to get to your heart, and kind of that encouragement. Um, it's kind of the song that I would pit up against all of the other self-conscious songs. We have a song called Siphon that really is, I'm in my head talking in these songs, and it's really just an overflow of what I'm feeling. But what I love about this music is I use it as my outlet to get certain feelings out, and then I sometimes write songs to combat those feelings. So Landmines is one of those where I feel like really represents the heart of not only that album but this band.
Yeah, yeah,
So
that's
yeah.
awesome. And so for people out there who may not have heard JD yet? Like, what song would you recommend them starting with? Do you want them to just dive into the album Silver as a whole, or where would you recommend them starting?
What would you recommend?
Um,
I'm so curious.
I think I think there would be like two or three songs that would be good to start off the bat. Like if you're new and you want to get a gauge of what the band is like, I'd probably say Echo Chamber, um, Fragile, and Siphon. Those three. I think those
Yeah,
would be good, like first three really good songs to start off.
I agree. Maybe even Bolt Cutter
Yeah,
too.
both. Yeah,
Bolt
yeah.
Cutter. Yeah.
Our latest single, Old Cutter.
Yeah, we've
Yeah,
got
that's
a yeah, new song that came out. It's called Bolt Cutter. It's really uh really encapsulates everything that I feel like we were doing on Silver. It takes some risks towards the end of the song. Um it's grungy question mark, but poppy. It's got those pop melodies that I can't get myself away from, but it's got the grit to it that I think that JD likes to really lean into.
yeah. Are you already thinking ahead to the next album, or do you give yourself a moment to sit and work with this one?
Yeah, I can't say too much, but we are working hard. We're working
Or
hard. Yeah, so it's really exciting. I am just very very pumped at what's coming next. I think it's like I was saying on us creating Silver. I think we found our rhythm, and I think what's coming proves that.
for sure, for sure. And so, a couple of questions before we wrap. What's the weirdest thing that's happened to you on tour? Do you both have something in mind, like the same thing? Are you?
I wonder if it's. I think it's the same thing.
Yeah,
You
it's so recent, but if he sees this, I'll be surprised. I there was one guy that I met. I forget what city it was.
Kansas City.
Yeah, it was
Yes.
Kansas City, and I don't think he's ever heard of the band before, and um, he really enjoyed the set, and he bought a drumstick from me at our merch table, um, and he wanted it signed, and I was like, sure, sure, man. Not anything too crazy, and I signed the drumstick, and then he was like, can you bite the drumstick? And I was like, yeah, that's weird, but whatever. Like weirder things have happened, and yeah, whatever you want, dude. So I bit it and I gave it back to him, and then he smelled the drumstick after I did that.
A big long sniff.
Uh-huh.
He goes,
You're like, what are you gonna do with this drumstick now?
So
"Where's that stick going?"
Yes,
I
yes.
don't know.
You probably
but
do.
but hey,
Yeah,
if whoever you are, if you're watching this, come back for another drumstick.
please,
Takes two
please.
drumsticks to be in rhythm. Come on.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Yeah, that was hilarious. Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, that both came to our mind.
That was what you were going to shoot for, also, right, Jarrett?
Yep. Yep.
Yeah,
Exactly
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
Oh my
And
goodness.
that's awesome. That's awesome. And the last question: favorite concert that both that you've attended as a fan and that you've played. I know you mentioned the sold out show, but was that your favorite, or is there one that trumps that?
Wow. You have one that I have only seen the footage of that you say is the best
Yeah,
concert you've been to.
my favorite concert that I've attended is Kendrick Lamar. It's his tour for Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. Um, yeah, I think that was hands down best live concert I've ever seen. Um, and then you say our favorite concert we performed as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, man,
Last night at
um,
August Hall. Just kidding.
Right.
August Hall.
That was a very fun
a
show.
fun crowd. I'd probably say you can't ever beat the hometown shows.
Oh yeah.
We've played a venue called Kemba in our hometown, which is I think a 2,200 cap room that we worked really hard to fill. to fill in, and that was a lot of fun. But outside of hometown shows, I think actually it was on the cab tour. We played Anaheim,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
in Anaheim, California, in the House of Blues by the Disneyland, and I think that was one of my favorite one of my favorite shows we've ever done as a band.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, that show was unbelievable. I think that one ranks high as well as the Kemba show for me. Kemba happened this past October and was our biggest headliner to date and kind of blew us away to play that show. But yeah, I mean, I I've seen so many concerts, but I truthfully, and this is gonna sound stupid. This is gonna sound stupid. I really do enjoy the Cab set. I've been watching. That's the only thing that came to mind recently because I haven't um attended many recently. But I swear every time it's the most recency bias thing. Every recent show that I've seen is always one of my favorites. But yeah, the Cab. I've been really watching how they carry themselves, how they build their set. And that's what fascinates me when I watch a show. I watch, okay, how are you transitioning? How are you engaging the audience? How are you keeping them so they don't lose interest? And they seem to be just masters at that. So, yeah.
A great answer. I like it. Well, Jarrett and Ashton, thank you guys for taking time. Yeah, short notice. Also, I didn't expect it to turn around this fast, but I appreciate it.
Yeah,
Yes, no
Yeah,
worries. Thank you for having
yeah.
us. And thank you for all the kind words about the set last night. That was so much fun.
Oh, absolutely. And that's one of the great things about seeing a live show and going in, unexpected. Honestly, I didn't really know the Cab even before I, interviewed them a couple of weeks ago, and then got so into their album, and I was like, okay, yeah, got to check them out live for sure. And then seeing you guys play, I'm like, okay, well, there's another one. I got to talk to these guys and
Wow.
hear their story. So because you guys, I mean, you have to make up for some band members missing, but man, you guys make up for it total,
Oh, no.
for sure. Can you hear me?
Right. I think so.
Okay.
I think
Yeah.
so. Now we can.
Okay. Yeah, you guys totally made up for, you brought the energy, and you did you brought a headlining set to an opening slot. Let me say that. So
Oh, thank
it
Wow.
was it was
That
absolutely awesome, and I'd love to check you guys out again sometime. So come
that's the
back to the
best.
Bay.
Awesome. Thank you so much. That's the best thing that we could hear as an opening band on this tour. So I very much appreciate it.
That was my interview with Jady here on Concert Pipeline. And like I said, performance was totally lively. So if you're listening to this, I recommend you go check out the program on YouTube, Concert Pipeline. Search it up, subscribe, all the fun stuff, and watch this episode because there's so much great concert footage. We're gonna play one more song from JD's set. This is a song called "Crowd."
I don't know if I can take this. Pushed into a shove. Deep cuts from the pavement. Feeling deep in my bones, yeah, like a sucker punch in the nose. I gotta grow thick skin if I ever want my name be alone. But I've always been so fragile, so take it easy on me. Fragile, it's getting harder. Feeding on all your energy and I'm starving. So take it easy on me. So take it easy on me. Running off, big skin, I'm a runner. 'Cause I've been the same kid trying to be somebody with the name in the crowd. And now that crowd is watching. I pray they stick around. Just tell me what I gotta do to stop you walking now. When we learn that the whole world won't fall in love with you no matter how hard it tries. When we learn that the whole world won't fall in love with you. So take it easy on me. Fragile, so take it easy on me. Fragile,
Okay, so that was Jady, and they opened the set, and there was really short amount of time between bands at this show. I mean, they had 15-minute turnovers, which is kind of not what I expect from all concerts, to be honest, because when you can take gear off and make sure the other band's gear is set up in 15 minutes, it gives you enough time to go to the bathroom or get a drink and then come back and be ready without having to stand around for 30 or 40 minutes between sets, which is not the most efficient, kind of boring. Let's get the live music going, right? So, uh, so they JD played, and then there was another band. I forget the name offhand. Actually, you know what? The second band was named Carr. Female fronted band. They were pretty cool too. And then the Cab came on, and like I said, I talked to the lead singer of the Cab a couple weeks ago, and just was like convinced to go to their show. Was like, okay, we're doing this. It's a pop punk show. It's going to be great, really more pop rock music. I was like, I'm gonna have a good time. I don't have kids that night, and let's go have a good time, enjoy a good show. And I really got into their album, their music, to the point where I could sing along to the songs. And I'm like, okay, this is one of those bands I can really get into. It was the Back from the Dead tour, which is, aptly named because it's a song on their most recent album, but also it's kind of their story because the band had to go away after the lead singer's vocals were shot. They took 10 or more years off from being a band and came back, and now have their full headlining tour in the works, and are doing their thing. So let's go ahead and let's play Back from the Dead by the Cat. Cab is absolutely back from the dead. They had a really, really fun set. I mean, it just really embracing the audience, connecting with them, putting on an incredible live show. They do this one medley song from 90s hits where they mix up a Backstreet Boys, a Britney Spears, and an NSYNC song all together and really connect to that audience. The lead singer likes to say that he got a review in alternative press back in the day where it was reviewed as like a boy band with guitars, and he, like others might take that to be a diss, but he was like, "Yes, I'm seen, I'm heard, and they get me." That's what he was going for. So it works. It works. It's a sound that absolutely works. And this is the catchy song we're going to play next, and it is called "I Hate Your Guts." Here it is.
This is a new song. The lyrics are really simple. I decided to get really deep, go really Shakespeare on motherfuckers. It's I hate your guts, you hate mine too. I hate your friends, you hate mine too. I'm gonna win an award for that one, I think. I hate your guts, you hate mine too. So why do I don't seem to be super glue? And I hate your friends, you hate mine too. So why can't I keep my sick mind off of you? We were born and make emotion, living broken every day. Making wishes, breaking dishes, then kisses on the page. First you're laughing, then we're crashing, yeah, we're just two runaways. And why do you love me still? Is it for the thrill of getting why do we love to kill? Wish that we could chill a bit and try to be something real. Tell me what's left you with it, I'm tired. You ready? I hate your guts, you hate mine too. So why do I don't seem to be super glue? I hate your friends, you hate mine too. So why can't I keep my sick mind off of you? Keep my sick mind off of you. I see you in the red. First we're mad, and now we're tragic, doing baptics in my chest. Always tired, hard to fight, walk through fire, ain't no rest. Till the morning, passion forward, with that born in your undress. Dress, yes. And why do you love me still? Is it for the thrill of getting wild? Do we love to kill? Wish that we could share a bit and try to be something real. Tell me what's the deal with it? I'm tired. Because I hate your guts, you hate mine too. So why do I don't seem to be super good? And I hate your friends, you hate mine too. So why can't I keep my sick mind off of you? Keep my sick mind off of you. 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 Why can't I keep my sick mind off of you?
That was "I Hate Your Guts" by The Cab here in Concert Pipeline. And it was a really awesome show. I had a blast. I really enjoyed the vibes, the music, getting out for a show, not being out too super late. I was able to get home by like 11:30, which is legit. I'll take it. And just had a great time. And so let's move on to the last segment, which will be my review of All American Rejects Concert in the Park. I took my son out to Concert in the Park in Sacramento, a free show where there were, I think they do it on Fridays. I don't know if it's every week or whatnot. I know I've been to one or two of these in the past before, and I had heard same day that All American Rejects were joining the lineup to play some songs acoustic. And I was like, okay, you know what? I'll go to that because they're playing Thunder Valley. It's a casino. I have kids that night. I can't go. Tickets are too expensive. I'm not going to see them. But hey, okay, I'll check out a free show in the park. So we get to the park. We're in line. We're probably about 30 people back, and getting there an hour before gates open. Didn't know what time they'd open, and I was apparently wrong on the timing. But we hung around. It was all cool. We brought a blanket. We set down our blanket once we got in. About 15, 20 feet from the stage, if that, and there were three bands that were kind of a little bit more screamo, more heavier. And I'd given my son earplugs. I got him, a Kona Ice, like slushy thing that he wanted. He'd had some snacks. I got him all hyped up on sugar and everything to help him last through the night. And he did really great for the first three bands. And then All American Rejects finally comes on fourth, and he's like tense and crying and then overwhelmed. And it was just the lead singer Tyson and the guitarist, acoustic, playing calmly a couple songs. And so I was recording but trying to help my son at the same time. He was overwhelmed. I'm like, okay, we're gonna have to leave early, but we'll do what we can to make it through this. And so after they played three songs. The first one was oh God, what was it? It was one of their hits. The second one was a new song that they had that I didn't know, and then the third song, "Gives You Hell," which I also knew. And we start to walk away to get out after the third song because my son isn't going to make it, and I'm trying to accommodate him while telling him, hey, we came to see this band. We waited for hours. Just let's hear a couple songs. Let's be cool. It's cool. And then this set ends and the lights come up and then it's like, okay, well, everybody's walking to the exit now. The show's over. And we're like, what? That is ridiculous. They came only for three songs. I wouldn't have done it if I knew it was only three songs, I'll tell you that. But even though I was only able to stay for three. And so we're going to the exit. The crowd is kind of gridlocked. And then some police start storming through the crowd to get to the exit, pushing through. Police coming through, and they're getting outside the gates. And there's a fight going on outside the gates apparently. And so they're keeping everybody in. Everybody wants to get out and go home, and we're having to stay inside the gates. And then so people start hopping over the fence to get out of the place, and ultimately knocking down a fence, which is how my son and I were able to get out. And if my son was freaked out before, this certainly didn't help. So he was tripping pretty hard. He didn't do very well with it all. We were able to get out. We got to the parking garage and had to sit in the parking garage for a half an hour to get out. And then eventually we were able to get out and go home and all that stuff. So it was fine, but not his best concert experience. And he's done well with concerts in the past, on some occasions, but it does take some work. He's 12 years old, and I'm bringing him into this world and trying to share these experiences with him. And sometimes it's a little harder than others. But so it was the All American Rejects set was fine. It was fine. I'm a fan of them. I enjoy their music, but if I'd known it was three songs, it would have been a hard note for me, and I would have just done something else with my time. So it is what it is. It was okay. So that's our show for today. We're going to close it out with one song, though, from the All American Rejects set, just so y'all get to hear a little bit of it, even if you weren't there. And so thank you for tuning in. For all of us here at Concert Pipeline, I'm Steve Jones. This is Gives You Hell by All American Rejects. We'll catch you next time.
I want to hear you bitches sing this shit. Especially the divorce bitches. Keep going, Nick. I'm not ready. What is this tip-tap shit that I'm doing right now? I can't stop. I wake up every evening with
smile on my face, and it never feels out of place. You're still probably working at 9 to 5 pace. I wonder how bad that tastes. When you see my face, hope it gives you, hope it gives you. When you walk my way, hope it gives you hell, hope it gives you hell. Where's your picket fence, love? Where's that shiny car? It didn't ever get you far. You never seem so tense, love. I never see you fall so hard. Do you know where you are? Sacktown! The truth be told, I miss you. Truth be told, I'm lying. When you see my face, hope it gives you hell, hope it gives you hell. When you walk my way, hope it gives you hell, hope it gives you hell. When you find a man that's worth a damn and treats you well, then he's a fool, yeah, just as well. Hope it gives you hell, hope it gives you hell. Tomorrow you'll be thinking to yourself, where'd I go wrong? The list goes on, and in my bong I smoke the truth be told, I miss you. Truth be told, I'm lying. When you see my face, hope it gives you, hope it gives you. Testify when you find a man that's worth a damn and treats you well, then he's a fool, yeah, just as well. Hope it gives you hell. See, I'm talking to the man in the mirror. I'm asking him to change his ways, and no reflection I can see any clearer. If you gotta check.
R.I.P. King.
When you motherfucking see my face, hope it gives you hell, hope it gives you hell.